8 keys to success. Today I want to talk about what have been the 8 keys of success for me. You remember, you are always the guru. You know deep within your soul what is your keys to success. I'm sharing with you 8 that you can try on, see if they resonate for you, that have worked for me in my life. Are you guys ready?
Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now.
All right, the first one. You can't give away what you don't have. Let's dive deeper into that. You can't give away what you don't have. If you want to give love, you want to give something to someone, you cannot give it away until you have it for yourself. Let's use love for an example, because that's the deepest and most important one. We want to give love to other people, but we cannot give more than what we give to ourselves or what we have within ourselves. So wouldn't that remind us to give to ourselves, to love ourselves unconditionally? Now, this is a topic that I have really been exploring. Something that I always unlayer within myself is this deep idea of loving myself through it all. And there are days when I feel on cloud 9 and I'm like, I got this in the bag, I'm super confident, I super love myself. And then other days I have pummeled and I'm feeling like I'm nothing. And I know I'm not alone in this. So it's really important to give yourself the love that you desire from others. And also, if you want to give more love and you want to give more to your spouse, you want to give more to your children, take time to give. You cannot give what you do not have. All right, so what you have on the inside is what you will be giving away. If you have anger, you have resentment, you have betrayal, or any of those emotions inside of you, that's what you're emanating. That's what you're giving out. So really hone in. What do you want to be giving out to the world? Energy is so important. It's inevitable what you're giving out. You can think it's your own and you can think that you're hiding it. No. Energy is energy, and so you're emanating whatever you're feeling inside. So start with loving yourself. Start with saying loving affirmations to yourself all the time. Number 2, don't identify yourself with what you accomplish. Woo! Do identify yourself with what you accomplish. We do this a lot. We have been taught to do this from our childhood. It was more important to get good grades in school than to talk about what you actually learned, right? It's more important about how many sport accolades you've gotten than it is about just having fun playing the sport. We have been conditioned as a society to really identify ourselves to our accomplishments, the resume, the promotions, how many books I've written, the grades I got, the wonderful spouse I have on my right hand, labels. Do you remember the days? I don't do this anymore, but I used to. Did you ever take the labels on clothing were huge? It's still huge. I've let that go, thankfully. You hear of Louis Vuitton and people have these certain shoes that they wear, but I used to in literally 7th grade. Guess, I don't know if you guys know the brand Guess. Guess was so big, and I want to be so cool. And if you wore Guess, in my mind, you were cool. So I would actually go to thrift stores, because my mom was like, no way are you buying Guess jeans. They're like whatever amount of money, and you can get a perfectly decent pair for 1/3 of the price. So I would go to thrift stores and buy a pair of ripped, ugly, gross Guess jeans just to cut out the label and then sew it on my other jeans. Crazy. Yes, I did that. We have really identified with these labels and the clothes we wear and the labels we put on ourselves. But I'm here to tell you that's a dead end street. That is not going to get you anywhere to where you know your soul needs to go. So it's super important to don't identify ourselves with our accomplishments. We need to identify ourselves with our love. And that knowing that if we have love and if we are emanating love, then that is simply enough. You don't have to go write that book. You don't have to go do that thing unless you're feeling called to it, but it doesn't matter. You don't need those accomplishment accolades just to have them. Number 3, probably the most important one. No, the second most important one. My last one is the most important one. As you think, so shall you be. This is the most important master you can take on your life. It is as simple as this. You guys, if you can take anything home today, it's as you think, so shall you be. Everything you think will become your reality. Everything in the present moment that you're thinking about will become your present reality. Watch your thoughts. What you think about expands. So many of us are walking around blaming and looking outside of ourselves for our circumstances, but if you would just look and tap into the thoughts you are thinking and the words you are expressing, you would be astounded. You are calling in everything into your life, and until you want to take full mastery of that, nothing's going to change. And I know this with 100% certainty because I have lived both sides of the spectrum. I used to think about all the wrongs that were being done to me by my ex. I used to think about all the wrongs that had been done to me by maybe my parents. I thought about the situations I had been in and always looking outside of myself for the reason why it happened. And until I owned 100% responsibility for my thoughts, then nothing changed. What you think about expands. If you're thinking about, oh, I feel super unhealthy, I feel fat, I feel gross, you are going to get more of that. And it might come in the form of craving. It might come in the form of all of a sudden seeing crazy foods or being in a situation where you can't have healing foods. It will manifest itself in your life. If you're thinking about financial struggles and you're saying, oh, it's hard for me to find a job, or it's hard for me to make a lot of money, or it's hard for me to keep money, that will become your reality, and the world will conspire to show you that truth that you keep proclaiming in your thoughts and in your words. We do this with relationship. It's hard to find a good partner. It's hard to be in a good relationship. It's hard to find good friends or people that really see you. If you keep emanating that conversation in your head and in your words, it will be hard. So change your language and master that language. So if you're feeling unhealthy, you're feeling overweight, you're feeling chubby or flabby or drab or whatever those languages, just say a different word. And you can think it, because sometimes it's hard to control your mind initially when you're starting to work on this. You can think it, but then all of a sudden, rewire and go, I am on a healthy path and I am making better choices every single day. My body is responding. It's just like that. That's how you do. If you feel like people are betraying you, or it's hard to be in a loving relationship, or maybe you're just having struggles with your relationship with your spouse in the moment, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, they're such a dork. They're not even listening to me, or I'm so sick of this relationship, or we all have this, you guys, every now and again. Just change your thoughts, because you're just going to get more of it. You're just going to get more resistance, more of the behavior that you're actually frustrated with. So be saying, I am so thankful that I'm communicating what I need with my spouse, and I'm so thankful he loves me and is trying his best. If you change that, yeah, it will eventually come around, and he will be trying his best, and he will be listening, and he will be offering those things that you're looking for. But I really want to hit home with this, because it's the biggest work we can do. And if you can take a week of really looking at your thoughts and checking out your words and the communication you're using and re-change it and just be diligent at it, that is a game changer. And let me tell you, I did 7 days of it, and I was appalled at my negativity. I was appalled at the words that I was speaking to my soul and into my life. And I had to go back, and it was like literally, I felt like every word for the first day. I was like, whoa, I thought I was positive, but wow. So I had to go back and reword, write it out. And I would try to reword for every negative 3 positives, just to get really centered in this. And it was a game changer for me. And I have to always do this. This doesn't just, you do it for 7 days and you're amazing at it. Like, it's something that has to be done. Number 4, be open-minded. Woo! Be open-minded. What do I mean by that? You might be thinking that means disregarding the things that we've been taught in the past around about being conservative. I don't mean that. What I mean by being open-minded is open to everything and attached to nothing. So open to everything and attached to nothing. No one knows enough to be a pessimist. We don't know enough to be a pessimist. Listen to that. We don't know enough to be a pessimist. When we close our mind to what is possible to us or humanity, We close off the genius that lives in each one of us. This doesn't mean finding fault in everything you have been taught. Just open to the potentiality of anything is possible. Anything is possible. Finding within ourselves to get rid of the trait. This is a really big trait that most of us has, and it's finding within ourselves to find offense in things around us. So let's listen to that. So are you looking to be offended? Because when I'm saying being open-minded, you're opening your mind to all potentiality. You're opening your mind to the genius that's in you and the genius outside of you amongst others. But let me ask you something, because this is a trait that's beating in a lot of us and that we need to pluck out. And that is, are you looking to be offended? A lot of us are. We don't even realize that we are. We're looking to be offended. Someone didn't do this for me. Someone didn't notice the hard work I'm doing in my weight loss journey. You're looking for these expectations outside of you for people to feed to you. You're looking to be offended. They didn't notice my hair. They didn't notice my clothes. They didn't notice the kind acts I did for them. I'm offended. Just recognize where you're looking to be offended. Oh, they cut in front of me. That driver totally is like stopping and going and annoying me. They weren't kind to my kid. All these different things that can come up where it's a trait that a lot of humans have, and that is looking for fault or looking to be offended. So write this down. Am I being offended a lot? Where am I being offended? And then looking at that. Oh, Kathy said, ready to be offended used to be my middle name. I love it. But look how happy you are now, because you're like, you know what? That's something with me. It has nothing to do with anyone else. So be curious. You can start asking this question. This is interesting. When someone does something that just totally doesn't, like, it shocks you, or your brain goes, ooh, that's bad, go instead, that's curious. That's interesting. They're wearing that. They said that. They like to drink that. They eat that. They have that type of relationship. Just be curious and interested. It doesn't mean you're taking it on. It doesn't mean you're accepting it in your own personal life, but it means you're not judging. And it means you're not attaching offense to it. Does that make sense? Because the truth is, when you take offense, it just lays on you. It does nothing to them. It lays on you and it burdens you and it weighs you down. We don't have time for that. We don't have time to be weighed down by offense that's made up in our minds, okay? There are so many people out there that do things different than what you believe should be done. What are you going to do? Just be the best version of you and be curious. Be like, that's interesting. You don't have to agree, but it doesn't mean you have to be offended. It doesn't mean you have to be angry about it, right? Whew, number 5, change the way you look at things. Ask yourself, do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Where are your thoughts right now? Because right now, there's a lot going on in our world, especially in the USA. Do you still, despite what you're seeing or hearing about, do you believe you live in a hostile or friendly environment? What you will get more of. And news, you guys, let me just add to this. If you're watching the news, the best decision I ever made was to stop watching the news. I grew up with the news playing in our home every single morning. That was the sound that was going from the moment you woke up until about 10 in the morning, was the background sound of news report. And then at night, around dinner time, the news was on again. And that's how I grew up. So I just thought, sometimes you get conditioned to those sounds. Maybe you're not really listening, but it's subliminal, it's subconscious. The messaging come on, and you have to be honest, you guys, the news is about sharing with you negative things, because negative things, if you look at any reality show out there, it all portrays around drama. For some reason, humans love to watch drama. And so the news knows that you're not going to watch it unless they portray some type of catastrophe or drama. They do not highlight all the amazing things that are going on in the world. And there are way more good things going on in the world, and random acts of kindness, amazing miracle stories going on all the time. And I know there have been people that have tried to put those shows on TV, but for some reason, humans do not watch them. They don't get the ratings. The drama does. Look at every show. It's all around drama. The good and the evil, the drama, the broken up relationship, naked and afraid. I mean, I think of all these reality shows and I'm like, wow, we're an interesting culture. Interesting. But news is going to totally change the way you look at things. So watch that. What am I looking at? What am I allowing? And change it. If you change the way you look at things in your life, it is so true. It's once again, what you focus on expands. This is not just a fun thing to say. When you change the way you look at things in your life, that's not just a fun thing to say. Change the way you look at things. And that can just start with going, I'm going to start looking inside. All right, number 6. There are no justified resentments. Now, this one was a little deep for me about 3-4 years ago. And the reason it's deep is because there are so many things that people do that hurt us. And we think in our mind we're justified to resent them or to resent that situation. But here's the deal. There just is no justified resentments. And I can say this because I have been hurt. I have been left with $47 as a single mom from my ex, taking all of my resources, all my hard-earned money, all my savings, all my kids' savings grains. I've had other tremendous crazy things happen during that time that I don't even talk about, as I don't need to, that were displayed on me. Would I feel justified in being resentful towards him? Yeah, maybe even other people would be like, you are justified to be resentful to them. You might think you are, but here's the truth. It doesn't matter what someone has done to you. If you're going to choose to feel resentment, you're going to choose to feel anger, you're going to choose to feel these things and portray it and project it on that person, it only comes back and weighs you down. It only comes back. And I care about each one of you. I could care less about the story or who has hurt you. I care about you. And so it's time as you, me, we let go of those resentments because they no longer serve us. They no longer serve who we're becoming, who we are, and who we're meant to be. I think I'm on number 7. Walk down another street. The best way to talk about this is through another story. There's a lady. She's walking down the street and she sees a big hole. And she falls in it. She walks right into it. This ticks me off. This is not my fault. Who put this big hole on this street? I fell in it. I'm mad. And she takes forever to get out. Same lady decides, this is chapter 1. That was chapter 1. Chapter 2. She walks down the same street. She sees the same huge hole. She falls in it. She's mad. She knew the hole was there, but she fell in it anyway. She's ticked about it, and it still takes her forever to get out. Chapter 3. Same lady, walking down the same street. She sees the same big hole, but now she sees it. She registers it. She still falls in it. I see that my eyes are open. It is my fault. I fell in this big hole that I know has been here every time. She gets out a lot faster. Chapter 4. She goes, I'm going to walk down that same street. She sees the deep hole. She sees it. She goes, I'm not falling in it. She's going to walk around the hole. She walks around. Chapter 5. She walks down another street. Yes. How many of us are in patterns that they're patterns that we don't even see that we're doing on a regular basis? Patterns of getting angry, patterns of feeling resentment, patterns of blaming, patterns of looking to be offended. They're the same dark holes. And we look at these stories and we think, oh, that's so absurd. But the truth is, a lot of us are doing these same actions, and it takes someone who's looking from above going, that's the exact same big hole that you keep walking in, and you keep blaming everyone else about it when it lies within you. And then it just takes the wise person to go, you know what, I'm walking down a different street. I'm doing different patterns. So ask yourself, your assignment for this week is what patterns do I have in my life? What patterns do I enjoy and serve me, and what patterns no longer serve me? And you might need to start from the minute you wake up all the way down, writing it, looking at it, taking a mental note, a picture of what are those patterns. Obviously, we have patterns when we're driving to work. We have patterns in how we greet our family members when they come in the door. Does that serve you, how you greet them? Could you change up that pattern? The pattern of what you do when you say to yourself, when you first see yourself in the mirror? Or what is that first thought or feeling that you feel when you get out of bed the very first moment? And how can you change those little patterns to serve your life? Can you just say one gratitude as soon as you get out of bed and just be grateful for another day to be alive? Can you, when you see yourself in the mirror, go, you know what? You're amazing. Look, your hair grows, your skin generates, your heart beated all by itself all night long. Amazing. What are those patterns that are working for you? And really getting fine-tuned on those patterns. Are you going first thing to the coffee maker? Not even thinking about it, but putting dark coffee in your body first thing in the morning? Or are you going, you know what? I deserve to have something healing in my body, and I'm going to change that because I know it works. I'm going to start with lemon water instead. Really looking at that. Walk down another street. Be willing to change your patterns. Last key to the success. Don't die with your music still in you. And I know a lot of people have already said this. A lot of leaders, a lot of amazing people. But have you really thought about that? Don't die with the music still inside of you. Now I have to be honest, there is some music inside of me that I have not fully expressed yet. But I ask you, what is that in your heart that you are dying to express? Maybe it's that song you want to sing, or that dance you want to learn, or maybe it's that book you want to write, or maybe it's this adventure you want to take. I don't know what it is. You know what it is. And you think about it. You actually think about it, but you have decided that either you're too old, you're too overweight, it's too late, there's not enough time, people around me won't understand. You've decided that there's a million more excuses than there is for you to live out the music that's inside of you. Now, I'm really grateful because me talking to you right now is my music. And thank you so much for letting me express the music that's inside of me. And I'm so thankful I get to live it every single day. There is another phase to me though. And you will start to see it coming because I believe there's an edge to what I need to be doing. And no, it's not going to be super comfortable for my family at times or super convenient. But I'm committed to not dying with the music still inside of me. And the truth is, we don't know when our last day is, so get working on it. Yeah. Play your own music, march to your own drum, be who you are, and be you unapologetically.